There were always problems, but there was always hope.
So from that point, we had a big writing party. Rory and Tim and Weiss and I and whoever else was there. We sat down. We just went through the whole script.
Darren kind of meekishly comes up as like, "You're gonna kill me, but I think you really need to add like 2 more characters." And I'm like, "All right, fuck it, let's do it."
Rewrote some lines here and there that could make some more sense.
The script was definitely the best that the script had been. There was a lot that everyone was looking forward to seeing filmed.
It was one of my fondest memories because it was the first time in a long time that I could remember being really excited about the project.
It did seem like things were picking up, but there was still a lot of problems and just a lot of shoots were getting canceled.
No, I just went through and cleared out my inbox for my email and saw a lot of, we can't do Sidequest this weekend.
An increasing level of doubt as things went on, but in the beginning there was hope.
The children say that if you mutter his name 3 times, that he will appear and stomp out all love. The children have been getting really stupid ever since Winthrop poisoned the water supply.
Another shoot that was really fun to do was the one at, I think it was the one at my house.
We were just sitting around the table after our first defeat and looking all solemn, and it wasn't working because Tim's character was the wizard with the full beard and the full costume.
First seeing Tim in his wizard costume and not being able to stop laughing, because, it's Tim's very expressive face with the makeup and I'm a wizard!
It was actually a lot of fun. The first time I got to be Terrashond, even though I had just come back from an afternoon of capoeira and it would turn into a very long and late night shoot that I was very tired on.
Altogether, that was a good shoot just because it was inside. It went pretty well and we delivered our line pretty good too.
Say! You never told us how you got such a detailed knowledge of the EnviroK layout!
Well, Any fool's son of a greens farmer knows that bards are gifted navigators.
The Moogie Pie scene.
Moogie Pie was Moogle. I was voicing it in the voice of Worf from Star Trek, specifically The Next Generation.
Not DS9.
No, Moogie Pie was the father and he was trying to free Alexander, his son, which was going to be done by the same puppet, and they were going to be the exact same voice, so... Which was Alexander. Will you...
Alexander, I do not want to hurt you.
I'd never done anything with puppetry, so we walked casually into a toy store and purchased legally a stuffed teddy bear, which I proceeded to cut up, put in this weird mechanical mouth thing. It kind of worked. It looked great. Didn't really talk too well.
Well, just for me, that Moogle character just didn't come out the way I'd hoped it would. For me, it took away from the fantasy element.
As funny as that was.
I was just completely overheated. I had to take off the helmet and the suit. I think Mackie was kind of my go-to nurse almost, and she would rip off the helmet from my head, which was in like 3 pieces, so it was at this process, and then I'd breathe for 5 minutes, and then I'd put it back on and try not to throw up. It was hot as a house party inside of that suit.
Dare I ask this time?
Why, it was self-defense.
Filming at EnviroK was the WNYF studios at Fredonia, which, if you know us, we've filmed that a lot, but it was the closest thing we could find because it had a front desk.
I thought it went pretty smoothly, other than the fact that the light bulb exploded on us. Which frightened everyone. Especially Ben.
Great. Great in that, oh shit kind of way.
It was probably one of the coolest shooting.
Hey, a gunblade! Easily the finest weapon in the shop.
I'll always remember that one scene, or the one shoot in the basement.
Some of the locations were just, we have to do it, we need something. So the shopkeep and the weapons master were filmed in a basement, and it very much looked like a basement, unfortunately.
When we were there, it looked good, but something did feel off about it.
There was a lot of unpredicted noise down in Ian's basement, so we had to keep stopping for 15 to 20 minutes.
We had to say like, all right, we got to get this scene done. It came to a point where we're saying, well, we're getting this scene done and we're doing what it says here, but we're not making this look like what we think it should.
We ended up trying to dress up the washer and dryer that were in the shot because it was really tight too.
I think for a fantasy movie, that just doesn't work.
If things couldn't get worse, just one of those, yes, this is God crapping on X-Strike. We finally get things set up, and then the upstairs, like the rest of the upstairs that didn't they knew we were filming, but not in advance, kind of threw a party.
Got done with the blacksmith and we were moving on to the shopkeep or something. They decided to start having a party upstairs, so all the noise was just falling down through the floor. And that pretty much summed up everything. No matter how hard we tried to be organized, plan out when we were going to film out in advance, something would always get in the way.
The organization for the shoots was a nightmare.
I remember for that entire period, after I'd taken on the role of producer, just being incredibly aggravated with everything. And it was probably the first time I ever thought that the company would never go any farther, that was going to be it.
Roll it, funky groovy, and action.
That was also one of the high points, I guess, was just Rich and I being ridiculous and him in his gaudy costume, I guess. There's no other better word for it. He was actually very good at timing the claw coming in and making the movement look good. I'd actually sliced him. I actually remember the first time that Steve showed me the tiger claws that he made for me. Enthusiastically asked me to swing them around and see what I could do with them. I swung them so hard that I almost knocked over his Christmas tree and took off 2 of the ornaments that were hanging on there.
You like these? I kind of don't know what to do.
We'd gone out to Thayer Hill outside of Fredonia to shoot a scene with me as Tereshon and a few of the other characters. I believe it was when they first meet Chiba.
It looked really pretty, but nothing salvageable came from that shoot.
It had felt like we had had a really good, productive shoot and that things were really starting to get on track. But when we got home and watched the footage, it should also be noted that the camera had fallen over during the shoot.
Oh, and the camera dropping twice.
Yeah, that was God.
Yeah.
As a result of that, all the footage from where the camera hit the ground onward was all completely unusable with various video and audio glitches in every single shot. That was actually the nail in the coffin of Sidequest, because after that we had to go get the camera fixed, and one of the bigger shoots that we were going to do on Memorial Day got canceled because we didn't have a camera.
That seemed to be the point for me where it's like, this isn't gonna happen. I just don't see this movie getting done. Because that was supposed to be a major section of the movie, and just now it had to be completely rescheduled, and that would take months given the amount of stuff we had to do.